Yeah, started off pretty good. Looked pretty sharp. Just gave up that home run to Bader on the hanging curveball, and then the fourth inning, got 2 outs, and then a couple CNI singles, kind of did him in there. But overall solid, not spectacular.
In terms of the Padres' offensive struggles against Root, what would you kind of attribute that to?
Yeah, attribute him to making a lot of good pitches. Looked like he had a good, sinker going, 95, mile an hour sinker with a good sweeper, and then he had his changeup and his cutter that he used a little bit more than we were expecting. So he did a pretty good job out there against us.
That was kind of be my question. Did he look like? I mean, he's had good games against you before, but did he look like a different pitcher?
I don't know about a different pitcher. I mean, I guess looking back, I don't really, recall all those games against us. But he's got good stuff. He's got stuff that matches up well against some of our hitters. So, we knew it was going to be a tough day. He made his pitches today. We were hoping, we'd get a few more mistakes, and he just kind of limited the mistakes, limited the damage.
I know you guys were pleased with the approach throughout the Tiger series. What did you think tonight at the plate?
Yeah, I think today, we had a game plan going in, and he kind of, changed up the game plan on us. He did, a few things a little bit different than what we were expecting. I think we were expecting a few more sinkers, and he threw a lot less of them from my perspective than what, we were kind of expecting.
Obviously, relatively small sample, but what do you make of kind of the offense as a whole through these first 4 games and kind of maybe the lack of it?
Yeah, I feel like we're hitting the ball on the screws at times, and we're not getting rewarded for it. And, that maximizes when we have a few empty at-bats also. We just need some of those hard hit balls to kind of fall in. And, today was definitely a struggle. We didn't hit too many hard as we had in the previous 3 games. But that guy, he threw the ball good tonight. Pitching's, in the big leagues is tough. And, we got to be able to battle every single day and scratch a few runs across. And, today just wasn't our day until that last inning.
For Jackson to get into one, how much does that kind of underscore what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's great. He'd kind of been scuffling a little bit, facing some lefties out of the bullpen, and not really, he's one of the few guys that hadn't really hit the ball hard and hadn't really done a whole lot outside that blue double he had in the Tigers series. But it was good to see him commit to a plan against a certain pitcher and then execute it and put one in the seats.